If you're joining us right now for Sunday Night Live, it is just about 8 o'clock. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds or so. Would love it if you would share where you're watching from, if you have any questions about the weather. And if you also want to let me know if you've got any plans this weekend. Let's talk about Christmas. We're going to talk about that and much more here as we get started just momentarily. A number of folks logging on. Again, we're streaming on Facebook. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, on Periscope, that is. And then in addition, we are watching from the app as well. So if someone lets me know they can hear me too, that will be helpful. And we'll be getting started here in just a quick second here for Sunday Night Live. Good Sunday night, everyone. Meteorologist Jacob Dickey here with Sunday Night Live, our weekly show where we get to chat about the weather a little more in depth. As we're logging on here, we've got some folks that are checking in. And if you've got questions or comments, sounds like folks are hearing me just fine. Things are working as smooth as silk, or smooth as butter, as you might say, as far as it goes. Love giving some shout outs to folks who are watching from home. Again, we connect every Sunday night at 8 o'clock here for Sunday Night Live, where we can talk about the weather and take a little more time to have some have some fun. So we've got Chuck checking in from Cerro Gordo. Hey, Chuck. Bill in Danville. Ann in Jacksonville. Roxanne checking from Duncan, Oklahoma. Hey, Roxanne. We've got Tolono. Tricia is checking in. Woodworth. Debbie. Clinton, Illinois. Hey, Loretta. Hope you're having a great night. Debbie also from Champaign. Denise from Windsor. James from Dewey. We've got Marty down in Cumberland County in Greenup. And let's see if we can't get one more sneaking in here. We've got Joshua from Bismarck and Nick sneaking in from Effingham. All right, we're going to get started here and talk about some things weather-wise and weather-related. Let's start with, real quick here, as I reset my graphics, realizing I started on the wrong spot. So I want to talk about what we're going to cover here. And that is, first off, some space updates. We'll take some time and talk about space weather and what's going on in the atmosphere, cool things in outer space happening. Blustery winds are on the way. We'll take a look at the wind forecast. It's one of those small/large dog alert weather forecasts coming in a few days ahead. And then in addition, Christmas Eve snow. We'll talk about the setup and why we think the chances there for at least some accumulation, but questions remain so far out. Again, Christmas is Friday. This is Sunday. This far out, hard to give a definite answer, but there's some good trends I want to show you, and so you'll want to stick around for that. All right, let's get started here and talk about the Starlink satellites. We kind of cover these every week and whatnot. Again, you'll see them as a strand of beads in the atmosphere. It looks like we may have some decent opportunities for viewing this week. The problem is most nights it seems like we'll be battling with a mix of clouds out there, and so we'll wait and see what happens. Monday the 21st at about 5:43 p.m., look from northwest to southeast. Tuesday, we'll have you look from northwest to north, and that one is at 6:11 p.m., and Thursday, Christmas Eve, 5:47 p.m. It's a 6-minute passing from northwest to southeast. And I will repost this on Facebook as a graphic tomorrow as far as things go. Something cool to look for if you haven't seen them. It's a relatively new phenomenon. What it is the Starlink satellites are Elon Musk and Tesla's program where they're sending satellites to help get broadband internet worldwide. Pretty cool if you see them. You may have seen them before, whatnot. So that's what we want to kind of give you a heads up on. I will say the International Space Station flyover, there's no good visibility expected this week with the forecast, and so it doesn't look like we'll get a shot at that. This one is one I think that a lot of folks are asking about and are excited about here. This is the Christmas star. There's been a lot of information on social media about this. You've seen some posts. We're going to talk about it here real quick. First off, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn officially is at its closest tomorrow night. It was a great view tonight. If you happen to get out 5 to 5:30 and look into the west and southwest horizon, you'll see the two stars fairly close to each other. And December 21st is also the winter solstice, where we officially kick off winter on the calendar. So great combination of cool things that are happening here. Conjunctions typically happen, and what a conjunction is when from Earth it appears that planets cross orbital paths. They typically happen about every 20 years. It's not an unusual thing at all for Jupiter and Saturn to do that, but this one is unusual because it hasn't been at night and so visible in almost 800 years. I think it was 1226 when that this last happened as far as how close it was. And so about 30 to 45 minutes after sunset, which is around 4:30 or so, look to the south and west, and you'll see it rise in the horizon pretty quick. It's pretty visible as long as the sky is clear. very close to each other tonight. Tomorrow night, they'll be even closer. We're hopeful that we keep clouds away and get a good view of it on the official big event for it. I will say this, if you're expecting a super bright star, something that's, like the moon in quality, I've seen some Facebook posts that have suggested that. That is not the case, but it is a cool thing to look at, get the kids out very close to each other. If you got a telescope, even, take your phone and check it out. Great visibility as far as it's concerned. So again, the Christmas star, the Great Conjunction, it's been getting close to each other. We've had folks say they've been watching since May. Tomorrow night is the quote-unquote big event, will be the closest they've been and so visible in 800 years approximately. They were this close back in the early 1620s, but that happened during the daytime. It was so close to the sun, we couldn't see it from Earth. So really a neat sight here, something that hasn't been seen since the Dark Ages with Saturn and Jupiter on the Great Conjunction. Hope you get outside to look at it. Very fascinating. Take the kids too. They'll love it. So really cool to hop on and check that out. All right, let's talk a little more about the weather. We're going to transition to the forecast in the weeks ahead and then talk about our potential snow event for Christmas Eve. Here we are with current temperatures right now in the low to middle 30s out there. I think for the most part, we're going to drop right to where we are. Eventually tonight, the winds are actually going to pick up. And so we should maybe drop a degree or two more in some spots here. By midnight, I think we're seeing the south and west winds pick up, and that's going to actually help warm us up slightly. Tomorrow morning, we should wake up in the mid-30s, maybe even upper 30s again after hitting our low somewhere between 11 p.m. and midnight. And an isolated shower or flurry will be possible as a weak disturbance passes to our north and east. We're at the tail end of it as far as it goes. Tomorrow, then, those winds out of the west, they'll start south-southwest, turn to the north and west by tomorrow evening, 15 to 35 miles an hour. Gusts may be higher than that. This is going to be one of those small dog alert days, as we like to joke around here as far as it goes. The clouds are expected to decrease. We'll leave an isolated chance for a shower both in the morning early and in the evening. The best chance for that, generally along and north of Interstate 74 here. Could see that. No impacts. Probably going to be more sprinkles than anything. I think we're too warm, but maybe up towards, say, Pontiac, Watsika, if the timing is right. Maybe a few flurries are able to sneak on down here. We'll wait and see. This is for Monday morning, 12 a.m. until 8 a.m. But in addition, it also is for the afternoon. We may get another chance to see a few of those sprinkles here. And so I'm also going to have the time 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. in the same area. We may get a little wave of energy that comes on in as far as it goes. So something just to note. Many of us will stay high and dry. All right, here's what the high temperatures look like the next couple of days here into the region. We'll be heading in the upper 40s and low 50s through Wednesday. The wind helps keep us up Monday. The wind relaxes on Tuesday, just a little lower. And then Wednesday, the winds pick right back on up. They'll be even stronger, I think. And we should be able to creep into the low 50s in most spots before a big drop in high temperatures. The drop is actually more drastic than it looks on this chart here. And that's because this is a high on Thursday, which actually happens in the morning. Thursday afternoon and evening, we're expecting temperatures to be actually down into the teens with wind chill values lower than that. Just in time for Christmas here before we moderate things out and get back into the 30s where we should be for afternoon highs on Saturday. Here's the wind forecast again. Notice tonight it picks on up here after midnight into tomorrow morning. Will be blustery through the day Monday. Monday, 1 p.m., wind gusts between 30 up to 40 miles an hour in some spots. And that will continue into Monday night before relaxing on Tuesday. Not quite as strong here. Some gusts up to 10 to 20 are expected. We pick it right back up, though, Tuesday night out of the south. And we're going to warm temperatures, actually. Our low Tuesday night more than likely happens early in the night here, the evening and late Tuesday night. And then by Wednesday morning, we're seeing temperatures climb. The winds then turn with a front coming through, and they'll still be blustery on the backside. But there's a key difference between the strong south wind and the strong north and west wind here. That's what the air mass that's coming here. A cold blast of air is heading our way, and it will arrive with that cold front coming in Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The air is originated. We can actually trace the air and where it's forecast to come from. It originates way up here in Yellowknife, up in Canada, up in the Arctic Circle, a very deep air mass coming on in, and all of that air pushing to the south, and you're going to notice it, the first bitter air mass of the season, bitter cold as far as it goes. So that's something that we're going to be watching next as far as it goes here in the region. Let's take a look at future track. The thing with this front is there's actually looks like we're going to have a decent chance for some moisture with it. And so what we think is going to happen is with that south wind pulling in moisture ahead of it, we'll get some rain showers on the day Wednesday, starting perhaps as early as the morning hours, better chance in the afternoon. The question is will there be enough moisture as that front passes to get some snow showers to the backside? I think that is on the table. And I do think some light accumulation also looks on the table. Not set in stone. I'm not going to give you a number, but it doesn't look like much. This cold front really drops things in a hurry. I mean, we'll be in the 50s and in a matter of hours down to the 20s as far as it's concerned. It may be a 15 to 20 degree drop in a matter of minutes the way it's looking. This is a strong air mass here. And so the thought is with that quick movement of the cold air punching into the backside, we may get a transition to some wet snow showers into the region as we go late Wednesday evening into Thursday morning early. And that front, I'm thinking, is probably a Wednesday 6 p.m. to midnight timing as of now. It may change just a little bit here moving forward, but we're kind of honing in on that Wednesday evening forecast for it to pass on through. And this front will pass all the way down south to Oklahoma and Mississippi. Cold air blast coming, not nearly as cold here in central Illinois. Typically with these types of setups, though, you've got cold air racing on the backside and moisture along the front fleeting to the east. This is not a setup that gives us a good heavy snow event, unfortunately. We would rather see, that moisture wrapping around the area of low pressure. We're just going to get it to push on through. So this is Thursday morning at midnight here. I will say this, though. There is a little moisture that Future Track is trying to suggest may wrap around the backside. Here we are Thursday, 8 p.m. There may be some light flurries as we go into Christmas Eve. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Very festive out there, especially if that initial blast can give us a little dusting in spots. Would feel very festive with the cold air coming on in. So fingers crossed for you snow lovers, you people, you folks who want a white Christmas. Fingers crossed it works out. White Christmas, by definition, is 1 inch of snow. That's a scientific definition. I think most spots would just be happy to get that, a dusting, even similar to what we saw this past week in parts of central Illinois. We got that. I think a lot of folks would be happy to get a white Christmas. But whether or not it happens, still some questions. The trend is in the right direction for getting some of this maybe light accumulation. I will say this. I am interested to see what happens when we have the light accumulation, we have the rain and that strong cold front coming on in. The potential is there. We may have to watch for what we call a flash freeze. And what that happens is when temperatures drop so quickly and things cool off so fast, the moisture doesn't have time to evaporate off the roadways. And you get a cold rain and it's 50. If it's still wet in the roadways 3 hours later after that front's moved on through, sometimes you can get things to freeze up a bit. So we'll watch that closely. I know IDOT, the Department of Transportation, is going to watch. And we'll be keeping an eye on that. So if we get moisture behind that front, we drop those temperatures enough, that's going to be a setup for maybe some slick spots on roadways. Bridges would probably be the first thing that goes. So that's what we're expecting here with Future Track. The chance for some of those snow showers. Christmas morning looks dry. Santa will have to bundle up, though, with those wind chill values that we're watching here in the area. Let's talk about them now. Here we are, Wednesday evening. The actual air temperature will be in the 40s and 50s during the day. It will feel that way as well. These green colors are a sign of some more mild air out there. 50 in Champaign, 51 in Mattoon at 7 o'clock. That's the front right there, if you can see it. Springfield, sitting at 51 at 7 o'clock. The exact time will be a little different, more than likely. But you get the idea. Springfield, it feels like 51. Jacksonville feels like 28 after that front passes on through. There's not much distance between Jacksonville and Springfield. And as that front rolls on through, then Thursday morning, wind chill values in the single digits out there. You do the math, that's a 40 to 50 degree drop in what the air temperatures feel like in the area. Bitter cold air on the way here. That will stay that way through much of the day Thursday. Wind chill values with those wind gusts, the wind chill value is likely staying in the single digits, maybe low teens, all day Thursday. Thursday night, they drop even more. And we'll likely see our first sub-zero wind chill values. Not our air temperature. Our air temperature will be in the single digits and low teens. But when we have winds gusting of 10 to 20 miles an hour, if not a little more, that's enough to add an extra edge to the air. This is what the air actually feels like on your skin. We talk a lot about wind chill. What wind chill value means is if we took all of the wind away at that particular moment, this is what the actual air temperature would be. And that's very important for folks who are bundling up, going outside. You want to dress for the wind chill values in the wintertime. So if we had no wind and we just had the same air in place, what would it feel like? It would actually be a -3 in Champaign at 6 a.m. Friday morning, Christmas morning, mind you. But the actual air temperatures, again, about 10 to 15 degrees above average. This more important for folks who are outside than anything. So certainly it's worth watching. Going to be cold. It is going to be a cold Christmas. We have already told Santa. If there's any kids watching, if you're a parent at home, you can tell your kids that WCIA has made the call to Santa and said, hey, bundle up, put your extra long johns on, bring your winter gear. It's going to be a very cold Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in particular here across central Illinois. Here we go into Friday evening, a little more mild. Teens for the windshield valleys. The winds will start to relax into the weekend here. And so not nearly as cold, but still that's pretty bitter cold here for the area. And then into Friday night and Saturday morning, the winds continue to die down. Wind chills will not be a factor. As we go into tonight, we're going to wrap this up. Here's some clouds that are moving on in as expected. So we got that view of the Great Conjunction earlier. You really can't see it now the way that it works out. And with clouds coming on in, that best viewing time, again, for the Great Conjunction is about 4:45 to 5:30, and look to the south and western horizon. I could see it from the station. I went home for dinner break at about 5:30. Could see it right in the sky. It was I don't really know how to give you an angle in the sky, but it was there. It was above the horizon. It was above the trees here at the station as far as it goes. So again, tonight, just some clouds moving on in. If we get a few stray showers after midnight, Pontiac, Gibson City, Thomasboro, Hoopeston, Paxton, Buckley, Loda, Saybrook, places like that will have the best chance. Maybe as far south as Clinton, Farmer City, maybe Monticello, maybe Tolona, maybe down towards Sidell. Worth watching as far as it goes. Something to keep our eyes on for the night, but no impacts expected. We'll be fine. Again, we're watching that chance for some sticking snow, potentially Christmas Eve morning with some flurries lingering into Christmas Eve during the day and then Christmas Eve. And that's what we're expecting here. All right, y'all. I'm going to double check the comments for questions and see if there are any. If there's no questions, we'll wrap this up. I do have a programming note as well. WCIA 3 News at 10 o'clock is now at 11 p.m. due to football. But we will have the show at 11. We have it on WCIX at 9 p.m. If you're interested, you can get the stories right now if you don't want to wait. The WCIA 3 News app. You can get my forecast, the 7-day forecast as well, on the WCIA 3 Weather app. Fantastic places to stay connected, get all the information you need. If you missed the snow forecast right now as we record this, it's 8:17. Those forecasts are posted on the app as far as timing and what we're kind of thinking, as well as on the website. But I will have those updates again. WCIX, our sub-channel at WCIA 3 News at 9 p.m., and then again at 11 p.m., not 10 p.m. Sometimes football does that this time of year and pushes us back a little bit. All right, I don't see, let's see, Paul is asking how much snow on Christmas. I don't want to give a number, but it looks like it will be very light in nature. We may get a dusting in some spots or some very light accumulation. I'm not looking at a big snow event as far as, big impacts and, measuring in feet of snow like they did last week in the Northeast. That's not going to be the case, but it may be enough to put us in the festive season here in parts of central Illinois as far as it goes. Again, some of that moisture will wrap around the backside. Generally in this setup, as moisture is racing to the east along that cold front, you can still get a little snow to mix in on the backside, some snow showers, but it usually isn't a big snow event, this type of setup for us here. But we can't rule out a dusting, some light accumulation at this point in spots. I think the bigger concern with how cold the air is coming on the backside, some of those roads may get some slick spots. I think that flash freeze may end up being a thing. Again, that happens when you have a very rapid drop in temperatures like we're thinking. From Wednesday evening, we're in the 40s and 50s, to early Thursday morning, the actual air temperature down into the 20s, even teens. That may happen in a very short period of time where moisture may freeze almost instantaneously. It won't be a big ice storm, big blackout. They'll get out and black ice issue. They'll get out and take care of the roads. IDOT will, the road crews and whatnot. They'll be aware of this. But it's something where that's somewhat a setup for some slick spots to develop out there as far as it goes. If there's moisture left on the roads, we will have the wind to help move the air and evaporate things, but we just have to watch that timing moving forward. As far as impacts go, not expecting it from the snow. It would be moisture on the roadways that would cause problems. And I will say this too, there still is a decent chance, even if we get some snow showers Wednesday night into Thursday morning, there's still a chance that we may have spots miss out and see nothing as far as any accumulation goes. So it is not a set in stone thing. These are generally not your setups where you get nice, good, fluffy, white snow. There'll be some wet snowflakes in there, and they'll mix down to the ground. But this isn't your event where you get a nice, clean 2, 3, 6, 5 inches of snow, however many you want to say. Usually with this, you're left with a spitting or a dusting, very light accumulation in spots, and then you have to watch those cold temperatures for roads and whatnot. So that's going to be Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Some flurries may linger. This is something we'll watch. We may keep some flurries, some festive flakes out there as we go into Thursday afternoon and evening. We'll keep a mention of that in the forecast, but we've got days to come to watch things here in Central Illinois. Other than that, haven't seen any other questions pop on in. So we got folks checking in. Again, we appreciate it. You can join us here on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock for Sunday Night Live. It's a little special we do. We can break down the forecast. You get to answer questions, talk about the week ahead, and look at some cool things like the space event. If you're joining us late on this, we recorded this at 8 p.m. on Sunday. It will be posted on the web, and you can watch it then late. It will still be valid, and we'll keep you updated on viewing times with the Great Conjunction and things of that. Fingers crossed, again, tomorrow night, we keep the clouds out and are able to get a good view of Saturn and Jupiter. And then I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind myself getting some snow showers in time for Christmas Eve to get a little bit on the spots. But we don't want too much now, do we? No, I don't think we do. But all right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap things up here. And thanks for joining us. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. We will see you at 9 o'clock on WCIX and 11 p.m. on WCIA 3 News at 10, delayed